Good morning, students. Today, I would like to discuss about our geography lesson types of resources. In this lesson, we are going to know about natural resources and their classification, and human made resources, and human resources, and conservation of resources. See, in the process of evolution and development, humans have discovered a great variety of resources in nature. Nature is an storehouse of resources. These resources refer to all the materials on our planet. We get all these resources from nature. In this chapter, we will study the major types of resources, how useful and valuable they are in making human lives comfortable, and why it is important to conserve these resources. First, let us know about resources. Any object that is useful in making the life of human being comfortable is a resource. Whatever we eat, use, or even see around us is a resource. In ancient times, people did not have the required technology to use these resources. They could not convert them into useful or finished products. However, with the passage of time, skill, and advanced technology, human beings are converting these natural resources into useful products. Some natural resources, such as air, water, soil, etc., can be used directly by us. On the other hand, several natural resources are required to be processed to make them useful. For example, minerals are to be separated from ores. See here in our textbook they given some type of resources. Resources should satisfy a need, be developed and used, be accessible to humans, have some value, economic or social, be cheap. That is, developing the resource should not cost too much, suit the requirements of new technology and the level of development. Natural resources can be classified into three broad types: natural resources, human made resources, and human resources. Natural resources means the resources naturally occurring materials that support life, such as water, air, and sunlight. These are the natural resources. These are satisfy a human want, such as food, raw materials, and mineral fuels are natural resources. Food, raw materials, mineral fuels, air, sunlight, these all are comes under natural resources. Again, these natural resources are classified on the basis of origin, stage of development, renewability. First, let us know about origin. On the basis of origin, they are derived from resources can be divided into biotic or abiotic. Biotic resources include a natural vegetation and forest, wildlife, aquatic ecosystem of both freshwater and salt water. And abiotic resources include land utilized for settlement, soils for cultivation, water for survival, and minerals. Here, biotic means living, living. Abiotic means non-living. See here, biotic resources include natural vegetation, forest, wildlife, aquatic ecosystems of both freshwater and salt water. And abiotic and non-living resources or utilized for settlement, soil for cultivation, water for survival of water for survival and minerals. Sorry. Next, the second one is stage of development. These stage of development, these resources can be classified as potential or actual, depending on whether the potential resources are known to exist and have been located, and these are not being utilized for present development. They may be developed and utilized in the future. This tidal or solar and geothermal energy resources. Geothermal energy means power obtained by using heat from the earth's interior part. ఎర్త్ ఇంటీరియర్ అంటే భూ అంతర్భాగం నుంచి పొందేదన్నమాట. దే మే బి డెవలప్డ్ అండ్ యూటిలైజ్డ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్. దీస్ పొటెన్షియల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఆర్ నాట్ యూటిలైజ్డ్ ఆర్ డెవలప్డ్ అట్ ప్రజెంట్. దే మే బి డెవలప్డ్ అండ్ యూటిలైజ్డ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్. In most parts of the world are potential resources waiting to be tapped. Next, actual resources. These resources are surveyed and currently used by humans. For examples, iron ore and coal that are being extracted from the Chota Nagpur plateau in India. Is it right? And used in iron and steel plants. See, this is picture of potential resources. Potential resources means get development and utilized in the future. See, an actual resources, iron ore. We get coal from Chota Nagpur plateau in India. That iron ore and coal that are being extracted from the Chota Nagpur plateau in India. These are coal and iron and steel plants. The actual use of resources depends on their accessibility, the cost of development and utilization, and the availability of technology and the marketing conditions. The last one, the renewability. Resources that can be renewed by natural or human assisted process. Others are non-renewable. First of all, let us know about the renewable resources. Solar energy, water energy, wind energy, and some extant plants and shrubs are the examples of renewable resources. Through water, soil, plants and shrubs can be used over a longer period of time. At the same time, careless use of these resources may affect their stock. Most renewable resources regenerate themselves either through cyclic flow process, that is often continuous like the water cycle, or reproductive process. This is common to all living things. Non-renewable resources are those resources that have a limited stock. These resources later will be used up. Once exhausted, these resources cannot be replenished in a short period of time. They are formed in millions of years. They may be therefore endanger the future of the next generation. Metals and minerals are the best examples of renewable resources. Some renewable resources become non-renewable if they are destroyed by bad management and improper practices. In the USA, for example, some farmlands have lost their topsoil. Higher lands have been eroded and streams and lakes silted up. If used judicially, however, renewable resources should be able to sustain development for a long time to come. The non-renewable resources also need to manage well so that we do not experience a scarcity of such resources in the future. Next, let us know about human-made resources. These are mainly include our technical expertise, government structures that may include political and economic institutions, and social and cultural setup. For example, houses and roads. The proper use of natural resources depend upon the development of technologies and economic conditions. This is because natural resources cannot always be utilized in their raw form. It's need to be processed and changed from their original state. It is regarded that human made or cultural resources. What is that? The change the raw form into another form is called human made. The cultural resources assume that great significance. These resources play a vital role in the utilization and development of natural resources. These uh, these human made resources are play a vital role in the utilization and development of natural resources. They primarily include our technical expertise, government structures that sometimes include political and economic institutions, our social and cultural setup. Next, let us know about human resources. Human resources are also play an important role. Without human beings, those natural resources also not utilized properly. So, without human beings, no gift of nature can be developed and utilized as a resource. Along with educational expertise, a healthy human population helps in a region's economic and social development. And human resources are helps in social and economic development. See, two aspects are to be considered in determining their importance. There must be enough humans to exploit the natural resources, and one more thing is they must have the techniques to utilize resources in the best possible manner. See, this is about human resources. Next, let us know about the conservation of resources. As we have already read that natural resources both renewable and non-renewable. Presently, there is a continuous rise in the population. Moreover, due to scientific and technological programs, human beings are using resources at a much larger scale. As a result of this excessive exploitation, the non-renewable resources could be exhausted in the near future. On the other hand, the renewable resources are also in danger due to the environmental pollution. For example, when coal deposits undergoes strip mining means an open cast mine. The flow of groundwater may be disturbed, causing wells to dry up. Poor farming methods have ruined much farmland and left it barren. What are the steps to conserve the resources? Growth of the population and the increase in the production, the need for conservation of our natural assets is greater than ever. This process of conservation even allows some non-renewable resources to be used over a longer period of time. We are over dependent on non-renewable resources. People must look for alternatives to resources that are become scarce. For example, aluminum may be used in place of copper for many purposes. While copper is scarce, deposits of bauxite and clay contains more aluminum than people can use. Coal, petroleum, and natural gas are the significant fossil fuels. The fossil fuels are the remains of plants or animals that have been buried and preserved for a long period in the rocks of the earth crust. These remains are converted by the heat and pressure into fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are the major sources of the conventional power resources. These power resources have limited reserves and are likely to be exhausted in near future. Due to fast growing world population and industrialization, these power resources are being exploited at a very large scale. It creates a great imbalance in the demand and the supply of the power resources. We get a smoke from automobiles and factories, no? The air the poisoned with that air with that smoke, so this kills trees and endangers humans health. Government can control this damage to the environment by reducing emission of poisonous gases. We must adapt proper waste management techniques. Each of us must take responsibility for our action and attitudes. Each one of us must learn to take care of our immediate environment. An understanding of resources is vital to their management and eventual utilization. See, the successful management of resources to maintain and enhance the quality of environment will not only meet the needs of present generations but also sustain development in the times to come. So, we have to conserve our natural resources for the future generations, and we have to protect our environment. These are the conservative steps to resources. Okay, students, this is about resources. I hope all are understood. If you have any doubts, I will clarify in interaction class. Okay, thank you so much.